I'm not going all out on those threshold days, just want to save a little bit so I can maintain that higher mileage. Good morning, welcome back to another vlog. Just on my warm-up this morning, heading down to my local road circuit to do my workout on this lovely Tuesday morning. It's a bit drizzly today, so didn't really fancy coming out, but I managed to get myself out the door, which is sometimes the hardest part of training. So this week is week 5 of my marathon training for Copenhagen Marathon, so I just thought I'd give you a little bit of a insight into how the training's going. I'm going to go over the training I've done so far. When I sort of signed up for the marathon, I thought it would be a good idea to do a weekly video going over my training, share some insights into how I'm approaching my first marathon. So that's what this video is going to be. Haven't had the time to do a weekly update, but yeah, we're 4 weeks in now, on to week 5, so that's what this video will be. So why am I doing the same session week after week? Do I not find it boring? A few of the questions people have asked me on Strava, having seen me literally do this same session now for week 5, week 4 in a row. But the reason I like to do it and repeat the same session is, one, because I personally don't mind doing the same session. I find I can get the same sort of stimulus and hopefully improve my lactate threshold, which is the sole purpose of these workouts. The second is it's then comparable, so I can look back on previous weeks, look at things like my heart rate for the session, my perceived effort, and also my pace for the reps, so it's comparable. And thirdly, because yeah, I just feel it's a good amount of work to be getting done without overly fatiguing the body, to allow myself to do some harder, more speed focused training this evening. Right, that is 3 kilometers of warm-up. Going to take my layers off and get into this session. Yeah, around 7 out of 10 effort is where I like to aim at, which usually turns out around 3:20 per kilometre. We'll see how we get on this morning. Whew, feeling a little bit tired today. Let's go get it done. So the first rep done, heart rate went to about 166 there towards the end, so right exactly where I want it to be, and the pace at 3:22, so nothing rapid. In fact, I think that's probably around the pace that I was running these reps around 5 weeks ago. But the focus is on, yeah, getting that heart rate up. Pace is sort of irrelevant for these workouts, because it depends how the body is reacting. I did a 34-kilometre long run at the weekend, so still feeling that in the legs a little bit. All about relative effort, getting the work in week after week, and that consistency is what my training philosophy, I believe that's what is going to lead to an improvement in my lactate threshold, which in turn will allow me to run faster, race faster, for longer hopefully. So we've got 15 seconds before the start of the second rep, and then after the second rep we've got 1 to go, so it's quite a good workout. Really enjoy getting it done. 30 minutes to work. Right, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we go again. That's number 2 done. Got 40 seconds of rest left. Not feeling smooth today, but it's all about getting the work done. Relative effort, it's probably a little bit harder than it was this time last week. Yeah, not worth looking into too much. Just going to get the last rep done. and see how the body feels after. Yeah, 15 seconds until the last rep. Let's go. Whew. So there we go, 3 sets, 10 minutes done. Gonna do my 3 kilometers cool down now, head back to the house. We'll go over how the session went in terms of the stats, and I will also go over the last 4 weeks of training for the Copenhagen Marathon. So I'm back from my morning threshold on that lovely housing loop that I like to do my runs at. That's where I get the majority of my threshold training done when I'm not training on the track. I was wearing the Shokz Open Run Pro headphones, which were kindly sent to me for the purpose of review. I've not been paid at all to put these in the video, but I just thought I would give you an update on how I've been using them and whether I've been enjoying them or not. So these are the first bone conducting headphones that I've tried. They fit on my head really comfortably. I thought it may be an issue because I often wear hats, and obviously with glasses I thought they might not sit on my head very well, but I've been impressed with the fit. And the sound quality has been really good. It comes in this nice little hard case for transport, which is nice. Battery life seems good as well. Only thing I have noticed is that they're not too great for when I do my treadmill runs, just because the gym is quite a noisy environment. But yeah, if you want to check those out, they are out now. I've left a link down below. They're the Open Run Pros. So yeah, thanks to Shokz for sending those out. I'll continue to test those, but yeah, really getting on well with them. So I thought I would go quickly over the session this morning. Averaged at 3:22 for the first 2 reps, and then 3:18 for the last rep in kilometers. So yeah, nothing special in terms of pacing today, but yeah, legs weren't feeling great, but again, we got it done. The weather wasn't great, I felt a little bit tired, but it's done. It's another one banked, and we can move on to tonight's session, which will be with my club. In terms of my marathon training so far, the easiest way to do it is to talk you through on Strava. So week 1 of my marathon training was actually when we went on holiday to Stockholm. So in that week, I ran 120 kilometers, which is roughly where I like the mileage I like to run when I'm training for sort of the 5 and 10k distance. But with my marathon training, obviously the race is a lot further, so I've decided to increase my mileage from 120 kilometers up to that 160 or 100 miles a week mark. But I didn't want to do this straight away. I wanted to make this a sort of gradual process, just so the body isn't completely shocked by the increase of mileage. So as you can see here, I slowly increased it over a 3-week period, starting actually at 110, then to 121, then to 136, and now we've reached 160, which will be probably the highest I'll go throughout my training block. I don't really plan on going any higher than that, but if the body adjusts to the higher mileage, I may consider upping that a little bit, but probably will try and stick to that 160 mark. I'd much rather try and stay at that 160 kilometers for say 4 to 6 weeks and then begin my taper before the marathon than try and push it even further, because I've never really ran 160 kilometers more than 2 weeks in a row, so I'm still very new to that sort of higher volume. So week 2 of my marathon training is when I introduced the double threshold days. So my double threshold days are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm going to be trying to do my long run on a Sunday if I don't have a race. But yeah, in this week I did my Tuesday and Thursday thresholds, which are the same throughout the training period so far, which is 3 times 10 minutes on Tuesday morning, and then 6 times 5 minutes on Thursday evening. The way I've done my training is it allows me to train with my club, who train on Tuesday evenings and Thursday evenings. In week 3, so this is my first 160 kilometer week, or 100 miles. Again, double threshold week, and we also had a race in that week. Which race was it? It was the Winter Run 10k in London. Yeah, again, not tapered. I didn't taper into that 10k race. I just wanted to race it with the legs I had on the day. And then we had last week again 2 double threshold days, and the cross-country race that you saw at the weekend.
again, didn't taper in for that one, and my legs also felt tired. But I'm not too worried about that at the moment. These are the first 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks are the first 2 weeks at this high mileage, so I'm fully expecting my body to take at least 6 to 8 weeks to fully adapt to that training. I've had days where my legs are feeling good and others where they're not feeling so great. I'm just making sure that I do my easy runs easy and my hard days controlled. I'm not going all out on those threshold days, just want to save a little bit so I can maintain that higher mileage. So yeah, that's a little bit of an insight into my training. So the last 4 weeks have been focused on 3 main things. The first has been to increase my mileage from 120 to 160. The second has been to introduce the double thresholds to improve and increase the amount of threshold work I'm doing to prepare for the marathon distance. And the third has been to allow myself to race, but not to taper into those races. Not taking them super seriously. I'm not chasing times or goals. I'm just literally turning up on the day and running to my ability, even if my legs are sort of tired from the session I did on the Thursday. And that's what I'll do moving forward as well. Continue to race, but with the A goal in mind is that Copenhagen Marathon. So I want to maintain my mileage, my fitness, my threshold training throughout the next few weeks. Moving forward onto weeks 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to week 14. I'm gonna hopefully put some more emphasis on the long run. With the races at the weekend, I've not been able to get out and do my long runs, even though that being said, this weekend I did get a 20 miler in, probably not at the pace I would like. It was a little bit on the slower side, but after the Nationals cross country, my legs were quite tired, so I couldn't reach the sort of marathon paces that I would like to hit. So yeah, moving forward, that's going to be much more of an emphasis on that weekend long run. The double thresholds are going to stay, but they're going to change ever so slightly. So at the moment they're 30 minutes per session in duration. So for example, 3 times 10 minutes, and I'm going to slowly build that up to 45-minute thresholds. So it's, for example, 3 times 15 minutes. Same amount of rests, same sort of effort, hopefully the same sort of pace. Maybe the pace will increase slowly. I'm hoping it will over the training block as I adapt to the new training stimulus. And the third and final thing I'm going to do moving forward is to practice my fueling. When I do my runs at the moment, I don't take any gels, any water out with me, mainly because of the distance I run and are rarely over the 2-hour mark. So for me personally, I prefer not to take them, but I know for the marathon it's going to be extremely important to learn the art of fueling. I've got to learn to sort of take gels every 10 kilometers, maybe even water every 5 kilometers, something like that. So that's something I need to put in place, probably on my long runs over the next few weeks. So I'm going to order some Maurten gels. They're the ones I find are the best for me. But yeah, that's a little bit of an insight into my marathon training. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to do a weekly recap now moving forward. So I'm going into week 5, or I'm on week 5 now, of a 14-week training block for Copenhagen Marathon. If you have any questions about my training, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And as always, follow me on Strava because all of my training is over there. I don't private any of the activities, so yeah, you can see the activity I'm doing, what shoes I'm wearing. This morning I wore the Takumi Sen 8s because it was raining. Sorry. I find those shoes are really good in the wet conditions, especially on the corners of that sort of cul-de-sac loop that I do. You can get really slippery in the wet. So yeah, they're really good shoes for the wet conditions. But yeah, that's it for today. I'm just going to head down to the track later this evening for my second run, my second threshold run, which is a sort of cut down workout. We're doing 500, 400, 300, 200, and that's one set, and we're going to do that times by 5. So yeah, around 3k pace sort of work, so a lot faster than what I was doing this morning. That's sort of how I tend to do my double thresholds. The morning one is sort of an easy threshold, and the evening one is a hard threshold. That's sort of the best way to explain it. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this insight into my marathon training. As always, aspire to run to inspire, and we'll see you with another video very soon. Bye bye.